It is not often that I have a game that I don't really feel that I could improve much upon because I understand the opening at the maximum ratcheting percentage. I'm playing against a Grandmaster in this game, and it's definitely rare that I'm able to win a game versus a Grandmaster, much less just outclass them in the opening. So let's get into this Catalan game, where I'm using the move order from my upcoming English text on Chessable. Castle, castle, d4. And the reason you want to play d4 only after castling is it removes all those bishop b4 lines, and it's going to force black into a handful of variations. So at this point, you have colors reverse Benoni's. You have bishop e7, which is going to go back to the classical. You have d takes c4. And you're going to have, say, c6, which is going to be the closed, as opposed to the mainline Catalan, where you have a plethora of options with bishop b4 check, etc., etc. So we're cutting out some theory there. So after bishop b7, my opponent goes for the closed, and there are multiple ways for white to get an advantage versus the closed. In fact, when I was analyzing it with Modern Engine for this course, I could not find a way that black could fully equalize with the closed. And I started looking for a move order or system that could keep tension compared to the normal stuff. So queen c2 is where I start. And what I say is the normal stuff is like knight bd2 followed by e4. And these positions, I am personally not a big fan of for white, even though white has an objective advantage. Because if you don't win by aggressive resources in the middle game, you're going to lose in the end game. And I actually prefer black due to writing a French course and playing these pawn structures with black. I know c5 is coming and I'm undermining things. Whereas white's got to negotiate all these pieces for a kingside attack that may not manifest. So I got away from this. I'm like, okay, so what other options do I have for white? First, I start with rook d1. So this is natural enough. If your break is c5, I'm x-raying your queen. Seems reasonable. Bishop b7. Next, b3. I just want to finish development. Keep tension because you still only have one plan, and I'm getting ready for that plan. Well, my opponent steps out of theory with knight a6 here. You really don't want to do that against somebody like me. Well, I need a square for my queen because knight b4 is more than likely going to happen. So let's go ahead and put the knight on c3. And after rook c8, now we're ready. I'm going to play e4 here. And it's much different than the immediate e4. Knight b4, queen b1. After this next move by black, c5, this is already a lost position. The engine's already given white a big edge here. And from this point on, when I actually have to think in the game, my level of play was quite high, and I was very, very satisfied with the game, which is why it's showing you as a reasonable model game for how to deal with the closed Catalan. So after c5, let's release tension in the best way possible. E takes d5 first. He captures here. Knight takes d4. Careful. Knight takes d5. And as that pawn is pinned, I'm in no hurry. a3, get back. Now, it's a good time for the rest of the game to pause your video each move and play solitaire chess to try to figure out why I did the moves that I did. So remember Kautov's thinking process that was talked about in a previous video. Come up with 3 candidate moves and compare your moves to come up with a solution. And always try to think aggressively? How can I add pressure or be nettlesome to our opponents? So here, the move that I played is knight f5. Dual purpose. 1, looking to see if you would like to give me the bishop pair, and 2, adding ever more pressure to the d5 pawn. Black's pieces are awkward, and this is going to be a difficult task to hold. Bishop f6. No, 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 no. None of that. Knight c5. What's best? Well, with some calculation, we should find that. Bishop takes d5 is fully playable. He played bishop takes b2. Now, with some calculation, you'll find that bishop takes f7 is objectively not the best way to go. So, I just leave myself better. Say, all right, prove it. Queen g5. Needed to defend against the mate. Takes. Now what? Well, I'm a big fan of improving pieces. And we got a rook on a1 that's not doing anything. So let's optimize, get full control of the position, and try to bear down on the opponent. Give him no shot. Rook d5. Doesn't want me to have the 7th. Rook e1. Maybe knight e7 could be a possibility at some point. I'd love for your queen to just go away so I can mate you. Queen e5. Dual purpose move. Optimizing the queen. The lady's dancing in the limelight there, man. Just doing everything she needs to. Hitting the rook. And there's a secondary idea. What is that secondary idea? The lifts. It's got the lift. Rook e4. Now, I need to maximize pressure. h5. How can I get the queen out of there? Queen d4. Beautiful harmony. Only one check, and now tries to defend, but I've got rook takes. Of course, taking with a knight doesn't work. Queen f6, and black can do little to avoid checkmate here. Queen g5, and I will say this is one of those situations to where both of us are extremely low on time, so that's why the game continues, and I miss what would have been a beautiful finish to the game, just simply queen h8. I played knight d6 and knight e4 because, you know me, I'm always just looking to improve pieces, and I saw that after the knight moves, I've got queen d8, and the game is done. If you see one win, you go for the win that you see. I'm not looking for checkmate when I have seconds on the clock. And that was a relatively clean win in the Closed Catalan. And definitely be looking out for that Chessable course on the English. I've been pouring my heart and soul into it, and I'm actually testing the lines. This is my repertoire that I'm showing in this current series that's going to be published in the book. Not many authors are willing to do that, especially those that are still competing. So, very excited to present it as it comes out. Hopefully you enjoyed the game. If you did, show some support by liking the video. I would appreciate it. And if you haven't subscribed already, I'd love it if you would.